The penthouse was silent save for the rhythmic ticking of the wall clock and the occasional hum of the refrigerator. One sat at the mahogany dining table, her chin resting on her hand as she stared at the three-course meal. She had spent 4 hours preparing. It was their third anniversary and the candles had already burned down to stubs. Her phone vibrated on the table, a text from Jungkook. Jungkook, don't wait a while, the murder meeting is running late. I have mountains of paperwork to sign. I'm exhausted. So I will probably just crash on the office sofa. Love you. One side, a bitter smile touching her lips. Mountains of paperwork, she whispered to the empty room. She stood up, her silk dress rustling, and began scraping the coal stick into the trash. 2 hours later, one couldn't sleep. The silence of the apartment felt suffocating. She grabbed her coat and her spare keycard to the John Enterprises building. She thought if he was truly happy, the least she could do was bring him some coffee and his favorite snacks. The lobby was dark. The security guard nodding respectfully as she passed. She took the private elevator to the top floor, the executive suite. As the elevator door slid open with a soft ding, the floor was eerily quiet. Most of the lights were dimmed, except for the glow coming from the glass file office at the end of the hall. As she approached, she heard a sound. It was not the sound of a keyboard clicking or a pen scratching paper. It was a soft, muffled giggle when first she moved closer, her heart humming against her ribs like a trumpet. Through the slightly ajar door of the private lounge attached to his office, she saw them. Jungkook was not hunched over a desk. He was pinned against the leather sofa, his expensive dress shirt unbuttoned halfway, and wrapped over him was Mina, his loyal secretary. Her hands were tangled in his hair, and they were locked in a feverish, messy kiss. Mina whispering, what if your wife calls again, Cook? You told her you were so busy. Jungkook between bets. She won't. She's probably asleep. Stop talking and focus on me. The coffee cup in Brian's hand hit the floor. The plastic lid popped off, splashing hot liquid across her white heels. The two jumped apart instantly. Jung scrambled to stand, his eyes filling in pure, unadulterated terror as he saw Wine standing in the doorway, her face pale and her eyes beaming with terror. Wine, what are you doing here? Wine was standing. I bought you coffee because you were so busy, because I thought you were working yourself to death for us. Mina fumbling with her blouse. Ma'am, it's not what it look like. Get out, Mina, before I lose my mind, and make sure you never work in this city again. Mina didn't wait. She grabbed her heels and scurried out of the room, leaving a deafening silence behind. Jungkook stepped toward Wine, reaching out a hand, but he flinched back as if he were a monster. Baby, listen to me. I was just the pressure of the company. It was just a moment of weakness. It meant nothing. A moment of weakness? We have been married for 3 years, Jungkook. Today was our anniversary. I sat at the table for 5 hours while you were exhausted with her. I'm sorry. I will make it up to you. Please, let's just go home and talk. Home? This office is your home, Jungkook. You love this life more than me. You love the thrill more than our marriage. She looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time, the man she adored looked like a complete utter stranger. Don't come back tonight or tomorrow. In fact, don't come back until you have figured out which mountain of paperwork is more important, your divorce paper or your secretary's schedule. She turned on her heel and walked away, the sound of her heels clicking on the marble floor echoing like a death knell for the relationship. Jungkook calling out, wait, it was a mistake. He slumped back onto the sofa. The very spot where he had just petted her, the silence of the office was now heavy, cold, and suffocating. The next morning, the sun crawled into the penthouse, but it felt cold. Wine had not slept. Her suitcases were lined up by the door like soldiers waiting for a command. She didn't cry anymore. She was in a state of numb clarity. The front door electronic locked. Kim Jong walked in looking like a wreck. His hair was messy, his suit was wrinkled, and his eyes were bloodshot. He froze when he saw the suitcases. Jungkook voice hoarse. Why, please tell me those are not yours. Tell me you are not leaving. Jungkook. Why, please tell me those are not yours. Tell me you are not leaving. Why, calmly. I'm staying at a hotel until I find an apartment. My lawyer will contact you regarding the separation of assets. Liar, separation, one, it was one night, one stupid, drunken mistake. I was under so much stress with the murder. Looking him in the eye, stop using work as a shield for your lack of character, Jungkook. You didn't trip and fall into her, you lied to me. You sent me a text saying you love me while she was sitting in your lap. That is no stress, that's cruelty. Jungkook rushed forward, grabbing her hands. His grip was desperate, almost painful. I will fire her. She is gone. I already sent the termination email. I will do anything we can go on that vacation you wanted. I will take a month off. Just don't walk out of the door. Pulling her hands away. You think firing her fixes the fact that you looked at me every morning and choose to deceive me? You think a vacation fixes the image of you? Too on that sofa, I can't unsee it. Jungkook, every time you touch me now, I feel her skin. I love you, only you. Mina was just there. She didn't mean anything that make it worse. You broke our life for something that mean nothing. At least if you loved her, your betrayal would have a reason. This was just cheap. Wan grabbed the handle of her largest suitcase. Jungkook stood in front of the door, blocking her path. His chest heavy. I won't let you go. I can't bet in this house with you, One. Please give me 1 week, just 1 week to prove I can be the man you met. You had 3 years to be the man. You choose to be a liar instead. She pushed past him. As she opened the door, she stopped and left her wedding ring on the console table. The diamonds sparkled under the hallway lights, a cold, hard reminder of a broken promise. Goodbye, Jungkook. Enjoy your mountain of paperwork. The door clicked shut. Jungkook stood in the middle of the forest, staring at the ring. The silence of the penthouse, which he used to find peaceful after a long day, now felt like a vacuum, sucking the air out of his lungs. He picked up the ring, clutching it so hard the metal bit into his palm. Jungkook whispering to the empty room, "I will get her back. She just needs space. She will come back. She always does." But deep down, as he looked at the empty spot on the coat rack where her jacket used to hang, a terrifying thought entered his mind. This time she was not coming back. 6 months had passed. John Enterprise was more successful than ever. The merger had gone through, and the company's stock were at an all-time high. Jungkook sat in his glass office, the same office where it all fell apart. He was surrounded by the success he always claimed he wanted, but he felt like he was drowning. His new secretary, an older man who was strictly professional, walked in. "Secretary, Mr. June, the final papers have arrived from your wives. I mean, Miss Wan's attorney. They only need your signature to finalize everything." You stared at the folder. It was the paperwork he had lied about months ago. Now it was real. The voice cracked. "Leave them on the desk." A week later, Jung saw her. He was leaving a high-end charity gala when he spotted Van across the street, entering a small, cozy bookstore. She looked different. Her hair was shorter, her style was brighter, and for the first time in the year, she was not looking at her watch to see when he would be home. She looked light. He followed her, driving by a desperate selfie shop. When he stopped into the shop, the bell chimed. She turned around, and her smile vanished instantly. "Jungkook, man, you look beautiful." "What are you doing here? This is not your type of neighborhood, Jungkook. I have been trying to call you. I signed the papers, but I can't do it. Why? The house is so quiet. I can't sleep. I realize that everything I work for me is nothing if you are not there to share it. Please, let's just have dinner, one talk." I looked at him, and for the first time, Jungkook didn't see anger or hurt in her eyes. She saw something much worse, pity. Do you know what the hardest part was, Jungkook? It was not the cheating. It was realizing that you only valued me once I become a loss on your balance sheet. You treat love like a business deal you forgot to renew. Jungkook, that's not true. I have changed. I stay home now. I don't stay late at the office anymore because there is no one waiting for you at home to lie to. You are no change, Jungkook. You are just lonely. She took a step closer, her voice sober film. "I found someone, Jungkook, not a boyfriend. Not yet. I found myself. I found a version of me that doesn't cry over cold dinners or wait for a man who treats me like an afterthought. I'm happy. Please don't take that right away from me again." Joe watched as a man walked up to her, handing her a cup of tea. He was not a CEO. He didn't have a custom suit, but he looked at Wan like she was the only person in the room. Wan smiled at him, a genuine warm smile that Jungkook had not seen in years. "Goodbye, Jungkook. I hope you find what you are looking for in those mountains of paperwork." She turned her back on him and walked deeper into the store. Joe stood frozen by the door. He had the money, the power, and the company. He had everything. He told her he was too busy for it. But as he watched her walk away for the last time, he realized he was standing in the middle of a $1 billion empire. And he was absolutely, utterly alone. He walked out in the rain, the divorce papers waiting for him on his desk, finally understanding that some mistakes don't just cost you a night, they cost you a lifetime.